Hi, today I've got a new product from Sonoff, which smart home nerds like myself are going to be low-key excited about, and everyone who runs a system like Home Assistant could benefit from. Hi, I'm James, and I've been building out my smart home for years, with products from just about every manufacturer out there, figuring out what works and what doesn't. And this is the Sonoff Dongle Max. It is their latest device for adding Zigbee or Thread to your smart home, but it does things a little differently to their previous offerings. So let's unbox it and find out more. So as we open up this very premium looking packaging, we have the device itself front and center, and then up here there's a mounting bracket, which is a bit unusual, and then down here we have two separate antennas. Okay, let's get the device itself out so we can see what's really going on here. Okay, and this thing looks really nice for a dongle. Let's get this plastic off. Okay, then we can see here is the USB-C port for plugging it into your server, and another port for an Ethernet cable. Yeah, that's right, this is not just another USB dongle, it's a network dongle. Not excited yet? Okay, let me explain. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need to know is a little bit about Zigbee and Thread. Zigbee has been around for a while as a smart home technology, and Thread is a fairly new technology, but they are almost the same in all of their fundamentals. They are both radio communication technologies which occupy the same frequency range as one another, and annoyingly a chunk of 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi. They both carry small messages very quickly over fairly long distances, and they both automatically mesh to carry messages further by bouncing them off of permanently powered devices to reach ones further away, and add redundancy and increase overall reliability. As a result of all of this, they can actually both run on the same hardware. So pretty much everything I talk about in this video that's relevant to one will be relevant to the other. Now, as I mentioned, Zigbee has been around for a while, and many people may not even realize that they're already using it. Almost all of the manufacturer hubs that you need to buy in order to connect their child devices to your smart home will use Zigbee, like the Philips Hue hub, for example. But you can also build your own Zigbee network using Home Assistant, and there are loads of advantages to doing this. The biggest one for me is that you then only have one cohesive network, instead of multiple separate ones competing for the same radio waves. However, when you go to set up your own network, using a USB dongle plugged into your Home Assistant server, one of the first things you learn about is placement. And not just where should I place the dongle in my home for the best reach, but where should I place it relative to my Home Assistant server? One of the biggest mistakes that people make when you first set up a Zigbee network, including myself, is to plug the dongle directly into the server. And there are somewhat famous videos out there showing how unreliable this can make your setup, because the USB ports themselves give off some interference that really messes with the 2.4 GHz spectrum. What that really means is that it's highly recommended that you plug a USB Zigbee dongle into your server through a USB extension cable in order to move it away from the USB port and that interference. And also, this helps with generally placing the dongle in the ideal place in your room. But at that point, you're ultimately still limited by where your Home Assistant server is in your home, because USB extenders only work up to a certain length. And this is where we circle back to the power of a network-connected dongle. Network dongles are way more versatile in where you can place them in your home. Your Home Assistant server could be down in your basement, and your dongle could be up in your loft in the perfect spot to reach your entire home, and they can still communicate with one another over your local network. This new dongle from Sonoff can either use Wi-Fi to connect to your network with its second antenna, or even better, via an Ethernet cable, which offers rock-solid high-speed connectivity. And that same cable can even power the device if you plug it in via a PoE switch or a PoE injector, like the one I have here for my camera in my study. Now, network dongles are not a new concept, but this new dongle from Sonoff uses a newer chip and antenna system and the latest Ember drivers for even better connectivity and reliability. And being network-based, it also means you get a web interface to the dongle itself. And I must say I am super impressed with this particular interface. Once it's plugged in and connected to your network, you can find its IP address from your router and enter that into your browser to jump straight into the interface. You can then do all sorts of things from here. You can view the status, you can flash it with the desired firmware for Thread or Zigbee, and even perform software updates. Or you can just go and grab the complete code snippet to paste into Zigbee to MQTT and be up and running in no time. After a painstaking couple of days trying to migrate my Zigbee network over to this new dongle because it's on a different driver. As I mentioned, this one uses Ember and my previous one uses Z-Stack. I eventually gave up trying to migrate it and just repaired all my devices. But I have now been using it as my main coordinator for a few weeks now, and there has been a surprising improvement in the overall speed and reliability of my Zigbee devices, which contains a wide variety of different brands, including Aqara sensors, which are notorious for being unreliable when not connected to one of their own hubs. And whilst I did definitely find it more difficult to get them paired than with my previous dongle, I am pleased to report that I haven't had to reconnect any of them since getting them all paired, as long as I paired them directly to the dongle using that function in Zigbee to MQTT. So, with all of that said, I think this is absolutely going to become my new go-to dongle for Zigbee and Thread setups going forward. It's super easy to set up, it's a great value device, and everything has worked rock solidly in the time that I've been testing it with nearly 100 Zigbee devices. If you would like to pick one up, they launched today, and the links will be over on my website as always. And you can also get 10% off using my code HIWTSI10. If you like this video, remember to like and subscribe and all of that good stuff. And as always, remember, home is where the smart is.